Coming up, learn about New Mexico's cannabis sales.
Spring has sprung and so are the temperatures. Find out more in my full weather forecast.
And a Portales native is arrested after her car crashes into the Pacific Ocean. News 3 New Mexico starts right now.
This is News 3 New Mexico, your local source for news, sports, and first weather.
Good evening and welcome to News 3 New Mexico. I'm Emily Wilbanks.
And I'm Andres Chavez. Thank you so much for watching.
The community in Tucumcari and at police departments throughout New Mexico are in mourning following the death of New Mexico State Police Officer Justin Hare. Officers arrested a suspect, Jeremy Smith, just 2 days after the incident. Smith allegedly became stuck on Interstate 40 after his vehicle got a flat tire and shot Officer Hare after he stopped to provide assistance. The vehicle itself belonged to a missing South Carolina paramedic, Fonija Macado IV, who was recently found dead. Jeremy Smith is considered a person of interest in that case. Both cases are undergoing investigation. New Mexico Police and South Carolina Police will be working together to determine any relationship between the case and to put the culprit to justice.
An investigation is currently ongoing after a Portales woman plunged her vehicle into the Pacific Ocean at Venice Beach following a police chase. This is video from the Daily Mail and TNLA. 39-year-old Jessica Reynolds was taken into custody Sunday morning following the incident. The chase began when police attempted to pull Reynolds over for speeding. She did not stop, and a pursuit followed along Interstate 105 at speeds as high as 85 miles per hour, until Reynolds eventually plunged her car straight into the ocean. Reynolds attempted to swim further into the ocean, but eventually required rescue. She was placed in a 72-hour psychiatric hold at Marina Hospital and awaits pending charges. The two dogs inside of her vehicle were rescued by authorities and taken into custody by animal control.
Weeks after the Smokehouse Creek fire ravaged over 1 million acres of land in Texas and became the largest wildfire in state history, the Texas A&M Fire Service reports that the fire has been completely contained. And now that the fire is gone, Texans can look forward to rebuilding and determining the cause of the tragic fire. Last Thursday, Xcel Energy issued a statement admitting that some of its Texas equipment was potentially involved in igniting the fire. While the investigation into the fire is still ongoing, Xcel Energy encourages anyone who suffered losses during the fire to submit a complaint to their company. Alternatively, firms like the Watts Law Firm offer representation for anyone who would like to file a lawsuit for any damages suffered.
Well, Paige, a lot has happened since spring break. We got a little bit of rain in the Panhandle, thank goodness.
Yeah, thank goodness.
We're looking at a little bit more warmth today. What is it going to be looking like for the rest of the week?
Well, it is going to be quite warm, which is very nice. Unfortunately, we do not have any rain in our area, but there is plenty of storms and rain going throughout the United States, especially in the in North and South Dakota. It is going to be a little bit snowy up there. In Texas, we see some storms down there, and in New Mexico, while there are some storms in the more southern part of New Mexico and a little bit in the northern, basically spotty storms all over, it is a majority of just clouds. Speaking of, it is the first day of spring, which means allergies are going up, with grass allergies at a low level at the moment, tree allergies at a high level at the moment, and weeds being at a low level. So if you need to take some medicine for allergies, don't feel afraid to, because it's coming. Back to you.
Thank you, Paige. Cannabis sales in New Mexico have officially topped $1 billion a month prior to the second anniversary of legal adult use cannabis sales in New Mexico. To date, the state has recorded more than 21 million transactions with $75 million in cannabis excise taxes going to the state general fund and local communities. State leaders say that nearly 2 years after beginning sales, New Mexico is on the map as a premier hub for legal and safe cannabis and the thriving business community that comes with it. Albuquerque remains the top city in the state for cannabis sales, with more than $202 million in adult use products being sold since legalization. Smaller communities across New Mexico are also reaping the benefits of the flourishing cannabis industry. Municipalities like Hobbs, Las Vegas, and Sunland Park have seen more than $5 million in adult use sales since April 2022. As far as cannabis sales go, one of the best performing businesses is Cheech and Chong's Dispensaria, and they are celebrating today's opening in a grand way. The legendary duo will be hosting a meet and greet from 5 to 7 p.m. at the new location on 601 East Llano Estacado Boulevard, with fans invited to meet Cheech and Chong on a first-come, first-served basis. For more information, you can go to their website at www.cheechandchong.com/dreams with a Z. Anyone who has spent $150 at any Dreams location and has a receipt is welcome to come.
Giving back to your community is simple when you participate in events like the 2024 Great American Cleanup. This cleanup will take place in Ruidoso. Volunteers will remove garbage from Wingfield Park and restore its beauty. Seeing nature be restored isn't the only rewarding thing about the cleanup. Volunteers will receive food, t-shirts, and prizes, and if you bring a group of friends, you can expect a fun day of social and cleaning. The cleanup will be taking place on April 21st, 2024 between 1 and 4 p.m. with registration beginning at 12:30. Youth and service groups of 10 or more may be eligible for fundraising at $10 per youth and are encouraged to reach out to Parks Rec at ruidoso-nm.gov for more information.
The 27th Special Operations Wing will dedicate an AC-130W Stinger Mark II at Cannon Air Force Base's Air Park on Thursday during a special ceremony. Over the years, the AC-130 fleet has been modified to meet the demands on the battlefield. The AC-130W Stinger Mark II was born from the MC-130W Dragon Spear and developed on a short timeline to increase the precision fire capacity available for overseas contingency operations. Through rapid acquisition principles, U.S. Special Operations Command was able to onboard a precision strike package on the AC-130W Stinger Mark II, making it the first version of a gunship that would have precision-guided munitions capability.
New opportunities are looming in Clovis with the construction of a recording studio. Renowned studio designer Sam Burkow, along with his company SIA, will be leading the construction of a facility in Clovis to be used by artists and record labels. The new studio will feature vintage analog recording equipment as well as new cutting-edge recording technology. When the construction of the new Clovis Sound Studio concludes, we may see the recording industry in Clovis evolve in new and exciting ways.
The 8th Annual Cavern Fest is coming up on June 7th and 8th this year, and you're invited to join. The festival will take place in downtown Carlsbad on South Canyon Street and will feature local food trucks and incredible street vendors. The event is family-friendly and entry is completely free. Live music will be featured during the event with the Josh Abbott Band serving as headliners. Tournaments, attractions, and entertainment will be everywhere. With the event being several months ahead, vendor applications are still open. If you're interested in serving as a vendor or offering food at the event, you can visit www.cavernfest.com for more information.
Well, that's all we have for you right now, but Paige will be back with our full weather forecast after the break.
But first, here's a look at today's financial markets.
Welcome back to your Wednesday weather. Behind me you can see that, as I said earlier, there are some storms going into North and South Dakota, with some storms even in Montana, all bringing snow. Around the New York and Vermont area, there is a lot of snow too, going up into Canada. And down here around the south, we can see that there's a lot of scattered storms throughout Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. Zooming in on New Mexico specifically, there is a lot of scattered storms. A lot of them are just going to bring a little bit of rain and not too much more besides that. And zooming in around here, there are several storms scattered around the southern part of Roosevelt County, but other than that, mostly just scattered clouds. And for wind speeds right now are looking pretty nice, with the only southern part of the state having winds up into the 20 to 30 mile per hour range. And as we go into Thursday, the more of the state, especially in the western part, is getting more 10-mile-an-hour winds. And as we continue into Friday, those winds will once again die down, going more into Texas. So with drought conditions, while it is getting warmer, it is getting drier, which is the unfortunate truth, especially of summer around here. And as you can see, the drought conditions during the summer do clear up a little bit, but do get a lot worse during the winter. And as we're going back into the spring, they are starting to clear up a little bit. But there are places of exceptional drought, such as around Roswell and Carlsbad. Current temperatures are looking very beautiful across the state, with a majority of the state being in the 60s and a little bit of the 70s down here. And if we zoom in, we see Clovis and Portales both at 68, Roswell at 71, and Hobbs at 70. For tonight's lows, it is going to be a little bit chilly, with places like Gallup and Farmington being 31 and 35 respectively, Santa Fe at 34. And then around here we have Portales at 40, Clovis at 38, Tucumcari also at 38. For tomorrow's highs, it is once again looking really beautiful across the state, with around here being 68 in Portales, 64 in Clovis, 68 in Tucumcari, and 69 in Santa Rosa. Nice. Now, as we go into the 7-day forecast, we can see that in Roswell, it is going to be a little bit windy over the weekend. In Carlsbad, it is also going to be windy on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, with the high of the week being 80 on Friday and Saturday. Into Tucumcari, it is also going to be a windy weekend. And into Portales, a windy weekend, but we have a high temperature on Friday at 73 and partially cloudy.
Well, with spring coming, those temperatures are looking beautiful, but can we expect that pollen to clear up anytime soon?
Hopefully, but you never know, especially with pollen around here.
Well, I mean, the weekend's going to be especially nice, though. You know, kids are going to be able to fly their kites. They just got to watch out if they're having allergies. Just be sure to take proper precautions and just handle it in the right manner. Well, that is all the news we have for you guys right now. We'll be back after this break.
Thank you for watching. Are you afraid of roller coasters? Well, there's nothing to be afraid of at Ruidoso Winter Park, but their new Screaming Eagle roller coaster might give you a thrill. The roller coaster features rider-controlled speeds up to 25 miles per hour and allows you to take an adventure along 5,100 feet of waves and dips throughout a scenic mountain route. The coaster features collision avoidance systems, making it safe and fun for any age. Children 9 and up can pilot the roller coaster, while riders as young as 3 can ride as passengers. The ride costs $25 for ages 9 and up, $8 for ages 6 to 8, and is completely free for ages 3 to 5. Ticket packages are available for families wanting multiple rides. If you're ready to tube, zip line, and race across the mountains, Ruidoso Winter Park is the place to be. You can check the park schedule and purchase tickets at www.ruidosowinterpark.com.
With the arrival of spring, birds will hatch and your favorite backyard animals will begin to raise their young. Unfortunately, some of these baby animals will be orphaned or injured, and it's important to know the right thing to do if you encounter an animal in need. First, it's important to make sure that the animal needs help. Calm fawns, feathered birds, and open-eyed alert mammals likely won't need any help. If you find an injured, slow-moving, featherless, or furless, or seemingly abandoned baby animal who stays in the same place after dusk, you may need to contact a wildlife rehabilitator. It's advisable to seek more advice depending on the species of the animal you find, too. And if you observe backyard cats or other predators in the area, consider contacting a wildlife rehabilitator sooner rather than later. It's important to follow the advice of a wildlife professional before it's interacting with wild animals. But by taking the right steps, you can support the wildlife in your backyard and help preserve New Mexico's incredible biodiversity.
The U.S. Federal Reserve Board is concluding its two-day policy meeting today, leaving interest rates the same as the central bank continues its bitter battle against inflation. But the end to higher prices and higher interest rates may finally be in sight. Ivan Rodriguez takes a look at the road ahead and what it means for your wallet.
Amid back-to-back months of hotter-than-expected inflation data, the U.S. Federal Reserve announcing Wednesday it will continue to hold its benchmark interest rate steady.
Inflation has eased substantially, while the labor market has remained strong. And that is very good news. But inflation is still too high, ongoing progress in bringing it down is not assured, and the path forward is uncertain.
With interest rates sitting at a 23-year high, the relief many market watchers and consumers had been hoping for isn't here yet, but neither is the recession that many feared. Mark Zandi of Moody's Analytics says the U.S. economy is proving to be stronger and more resilient than expected, thanks in part to the record low mortgage rates during the pandemic.
We're back in the teeth of the pandemic. You could get a 30-year fixed rate mortgage at 2.5%, 3%, and people refinance down into that. So they're not experiencing higher debt payments because they locked in those previously low rates.
Yet, despite the economy's strengths and robust household balance sheets, people are still facing some headwinds, namely high credit card balances and surging gas prices.
Nothing hurts more quickly, more painfully than higher gas prices. If they move up much more from here, it's going to start to do some real damage.
But as the Fed steadily succeeds in its battle against inflation, the price pressure on consumers is easing, and interest rates may finally start coming down this summer.
I think everyone's going to feel a bit better with each passing month, and by the end of the year, by this time next year, I think people will feel a lot more comfortable.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Have you ever wanted to see your artwork featured in a museum? You might have the opportunity if you enter the city of Carlsbad's Earth Day Art Contest. The contest accepts submissions in 3 age categories: kindergarten through 5th grade, 6th through 12th grade, and adults artists are encouraged to submit an entry artwork of any two-dimensional medium not exceeding 18 by 24 inches in size. The theme of the contest is Planet versus Plastics, and the contest itself is meant as a celebration of Earth Day. Submissions will be accepted at public information at cityofcarlsbadnm.com until Wednesday, April 17th. You can read more about the contest on the Carlsbad Museum website at carlsbadmuseum.org. Radio isn't
dead, and if you haven't been tuning in recently, you might be missing out. Radio programs offer incredible stories, and they're ideal listening material when you're working around the home or out on a drive. Podcasts like on Spotify and Apple Podcasts offer another great way to get into the medium of audio. You can learn about Ruidoso history with Stephanie Long by tuning into Ruidoso Rewind on Fridays at noon on 1490 KRUI, or catch sports highlights with Doc Elder every morning from 6 to 10 on 105.9 KSL FM. Or if you're feeling spontaneous, just tune into your local radio station. You might be surprised at how innovative radio programs remain.
March is Women's History Month, and there's still time to learn and celebrate. New Mexico has no shortage of women who have contributed to the state's history and culture in incredible ways. Maria Martinez, born in 1887, is among New Mexico's most prominent historical figures. Her perfection of blackware pottery distinguished modern Pueblo art around the world, and much of her work remains on display at museums internationally. She isn't the only trailblazer in New Mexico. If you want to learn more about women's history, tune in to the New Mexico and the Vote on www.newmexicopbs.org or catch it on air on July 6th and 7th at 8 p.m.
There's another way you can celebrate Women's History Month in Portales, and it involves an auction for delicious desserts taking place at Enchantment Vineyards. The ENMU Women's Lovers for Learning Dessert Auction is scheduled to take place on this Saturday, March 23rd at 6:30 p.m. The event costs $40 per person or $275 for a table of 6. The best part? After you bid on and enjoy your dessert of choice, all proceeds will go towards funding scholarships for women attending ENMU. You can get your own tickets for the event at www.enchantmentvineyards.com. With no end to drought restrictions in sight, residents of Roosevelt County and other dry counties in New Mexico may need to seek alternatives for landscaping. One of the best possibilities might be gray water. Gray water, or the wastewater from household appliances like bathtubs and laundry machines, has become popular for landscaping thanks to a new state law. You can make your gray water better for plants by using eco-friendly soaps and minimizing your use of bleach, borax, salts, and sulfates. Effective xeriscaping can help your lawn preserve the water it receives. With the right effort, you can enjoy spring blooms despite the statewide droughts. That's all the stories we have for you right now.
Jane Phillips will have the latest in the sports news for you right after this break.
Welcome back, sports fans. I'm Jane Phillips. Let's take a look at the biggest topics in sports happening right now. The ENMU Greyhounds played in the first round of the Division II basketball tournament. As they won the Lone Star Conference tournament in Frisco, Texas, the Hounds punched a ticket to the Division II tournament, and they played the 3-seed Colorado Mesa in Texas at Buffalo Arena. And the Hounds had one of the best seasons, and it would come to an end as they lost with a score of 95-77. The Hounds ended the year with a record of 22-10. As they get ready for next season, they have a lot of expectations and a lot of talent on the team. Jacory Early was named All Lone Star Conference second team, and freshman Connor Lujeski was named All Lone Star Conference freshman team. What a great year for these two athletes and the rest of the team. ENMU Baseball just wrapped up a 4-game series versus Cameron of Oklahoma, and they split the series, which improves their record to 13-13. As softball is sitting with a record of 17-14, as they are in the process of a 3-game series versus UT Permian Basin. And the Lady Hounds are leading with a 2-0 lead, and the last game is going on tonight. We'll have scores and highlights Friday. ENMU Track and Field is getting ready for a meet at Arizona University on March 22nd. And on March 30th, the ENMU Track and Field will host a meet at Greyhound Stadium. These meets follow multiple top 3 finishes by ENMU's women's track and field team at the West Texas A&M Spring Break Open. Newcomer Riley Midget achieved a 12:60 second 100-meter finish, and she'll have the opportunity to compete again this Friday. And ENMU Rodeo is gearing up to saddle up at Ranger College Rodeo at Ranger, Texas on March 21st. We'll have more on this Friday. That's all the sports I have for you today, but stay tuned for after the break for more news.
Paige, can we get one last look at that weather?
Absolutely. So as of right now, for Santa Rosa, it is going to be cloudy today and 68, partially cloudy and 67 on Thursday, and sunny and 69 on Friday. For Roswell, it is going to be partially cloudy and 73 on today. It is going to be 72, partially cloudy on Thursday, and it is going to be sunny and 77 on Friday. And then for Portales, it is going to be a kind of cloudy Wednesday at 75 degrees, a partially cloudy Thursday at 70 degrees, and yeah, the Friday is going to also be quite warm.
I'm pretty excited, I can't lie.
I'm looking forward to that, guys. Well, that is all the news we have for you guys right now. Thank you so much for watching News 3 New Mexico.
Have a good night.